Stroke survivors are giving other women a wake-up call. In this morning's Helen magazine segment, survivor Michelle Mullen shares her story. Good morning, and thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So, if you don't mind, share with us your personal experience with the stroke. What happened?
For me, it came on extremely suddenly, where I was just having a very bad headache one afternoon and then had difficulty walking, stumbled a little bit, slurred my words. My family immediately called for help.
Okay, and once you were taken to the hospital, what did they find?
They found that I had had a stroke indeed, and put me in the hospital and started me on some medications to thin the blood so I wouldn't have any further strokes. And then after a few days, then I went into some rehab for a few more days, for about a week.
Okay, because what effect did it have on your body thereafter for the next few days and so?
For me, it was mostly just one side. It was on my left side, a lack of coordination, more difficulty saying my words clearly, lack of intonation. So they worked on some coordination and balance issues for me.
Okay, and so with the therapy and things you did, you were able to recover?
Tremendously, yes.
Very good. Well, we want to let people know about what some of the warning signs are for a stroke, because there are certain things that people can look for, including numbness or weakness in your arm, face, or leg, especially on one side, confusion, trouble speaking or understanding, difficulty seeing from one or both eyes, dizziness, loss of balance or coordination, and difficulty walking, as well as severe headache without a known cause. And so for you, you saw at least one or two of those.
That's correct.
And so how important is it then to call 911 when you're experiencing that?
I guess what I would like to tell everybody is that it came on so suddenly and so unexpectedly that don't discard it and say, oh, it'll go away, because that was my first reaction. But my family wouldn't let that happen.
Very good.
So take action quickly.
Okay.
And it pays off.
And you found that there are, this is something that's slowly gaining more public awareness, right?
Yes.
But it's not something that you necessarily hear people talking about a lot.
That's true.
And so what have you found when it comes to that?
I find that when I have the opportunity, I will share a little bit of my story with people, but it's just not commonly talked about, and it can happen to people at any age. Okay. I think that's what people don't believe.
There actually are also some risk factors that we can tell people about as well. When it comes to your age, your risk doubles each decade after age 55, and heredity is another risk factor. Others in your family have had strokes, that puts you at risk. Race, African Americans experience more strokes than Caucasians. As for sex, it's more common in men, but this is interesting. More than 60% of those who die are actually women. And health, if you've had high blood cholesterol or other illnesses such as diabetes or heart disease, that puts you at risk. Food and drink, if your diet is poor, you're obese, you consume more than one drink a day or abuse drugs, you're at risk. And if you take the birth control pill or use the patch, that's another risk factor. For you, not necessarily were these all key.
No, they weren't really.
And for you, what did you find?
They think that mine came from a surgery that I'd had 3 years ago, that a blood clot broke loose, and that's what caused mine.
Okay. So really, it's just something that you may not have expected, but how were you able to cope with it once you discovered that that was your diagnosis?
Lots of family support, determination, followed the exercises, did everything they recommended so I could get back as quickly as I could. And
today, do you continue to think about your health and the choices you make to prevent perhaps this from happening again?
It's always been a conscious thing for me, but yes, even more so now, to get out there and do the exercise. Eating healthy has not been a problem for me, but tell people be aware.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely want to urge people to watch what they eat and drink, and as well as to stop smoking and watch their weight. Those are all things that are very important. So thank you for sharing your story with us today.
Thank you.
Hopefully be able to help some other women to be conscious of
I hope so.
of their health. And when